Leon?
These are
Alright, Joel.
really good.
Because we're playing Arena Trios and I feel like a bot right now. A real big bot.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fidget spinner time.
I changed my settings for
Will be
God's
my
sake.
fidget spinner video.
Welcome to Test Chamber 4. You're doing quite well.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm trying to get I'm changing my settings back.
Okay, one by one then. One by one. First. Oh, jelly beavers.
For training purposes, there's generally just one correct solution to these early puzzles. The original version of this room didn't have the glass barrier. Playtesters would often stand on the button to open the door and then shoot a blue portal through the opening, bypassing the box entirely. Since this puzzle was meant to illustrate the relationship between boxes and buttons, that solution, while clever, was a failure. So we added the glass barrier to prevent it. Later in the game, however, the puzzles become more open-ended.
I got carried.
This is
Integrating portals with Source Engine's physics system was a complex process that required several iterations to achieve the right balance of performance and correctness. Because portals can be placed virtually anywhere in the game's environment,
Once again, excellent work. As part of a required test protocol,
green fidget spinner.
we will not monitor the next test chamber. You will be entirely on your own. Good luck.
I got a sound fidget spinner. I didn't see this game, but
What do you mean?
Early versions of Portal featured more detailed, cluttered environments, much like Half-Life 2. We quickly realized that unnecessary objects scattered all over the place distracted players to the point where it actually interfered with the Portal training process. So we simplified the art style to favor clean, focused test chambers. The modular approach we settled on makes it look plausible that the chambers can reform dynamically on these pistons.
As part of a required test protocol, our previous statement suggesting that we would not monitor this chamber was an outright fabrication. Good job. As part of a required test protocol, we will stop enhancing the truth in 3, 2,
fidget spinners video.
To make puzzles deeper than just teleporting to the exit, we had to include surfaces that won't hold a portal, which are formally introduced here. We experimented with several surface designs before we settled on this one, whose visual noise and reflectivity make it easy to identify at a distance.
Please be careful.
Fidget spinner time.
To make puzzles deeper than just teleporting to the exit, we had to include surfaces that won't hold a portal, which are formally introduced here. We experimented with several surface designs before we settled on this one, whose visual noise and reflectivity make it easy to identify at a distance.
He doesn't want to do it. Fidget spinner video. Okay, one by one. One by one.
See what I mean? I don't play this game because I need points.
Jelly babies.
I know
Warning devices are required on all mobile equipment. However, alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate the high-energy pellet and have therefore been disabled for your safety.
Originally, these scaffolds
I'm
ran
gonna
on
stop
electrified
playing
tracks,
after 5.
but crafty playtesters would hop along the rails to the exit, bypassing the puzzle entirely. We tried to solve this by killing players as soon as they touched the rails. That solution ended up being too much of an overcorrection, as even skilled playtesters were getting frustrated by these one-hit kills in the more complex puzzles later in the game. Making the scaffolds run along immaterial beams of light solved both problems.
Hang on.
And also got
Good. Now use the aperture science unstationary scaffold to reach the chamber lock.
So easy to this.
Clumsy cameras.
I got a sound register. I didn't see the screen, but the sound.
Please note that we have added a consequence for failure. Any
I
contact
got a spy. What's up, guys?
with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death. Good luck.
My brother.
Even though layering player training was a design goal from the start, we still ended up introducing some concepts too quickly. For instance, this used to be the first energy ball redirection puzzle. Playtesting revealed that this puzzle introduced too many new concepts at once, which ended up frustrating a lot of playtesters. In response, we inserted 2 test chambers before this one to make the energy ball redirection training more gradual.
We previously talked about how we handle static portal collision, but collision with moving objects on the other side of a portal is a completely different and equally hard problem. Walking onto this scaffold was a very iffy proposition for the first few months of development. We solved the problem of colliding with these dynamic objects by cloning the objects from one portal to the other and strictly controlling what objects are allowed to collide with each other and how
Very
they're allowed to
impressive.
collide.
Please note that any appearance of danger is merely a device to enhance your testing experience.
Not you, I am. Because I just can't get completely.
The Enrichment Center
Because our
regrets
test
to
chamber
inform
environments
you
were
that this
simplified for training
test is
purposes,
impossible.
we created visual
Make no
hotspots
attempt
within
to
the
solve
rooms
it.
to guide players' attention.
Oh yeah, because I got
The design is essentially a balance between round objects and sharp objects. The sharp objects representing background elements, and the round objects, such as doors and movable props, comprising our points of visual interest.
For the first few months of development, we rendered the views through portals to 2 off-screen textures. This approach was easy to implement and was compatible with a wide range of graphics hardware. Unfortunately, this method was incompatible with anti-aliasing and consumed a large amount of